That crushing weight, that feeling when work piles up, maybe personal challenges mount, and you feel utterly adrift.
Yeah, like you're the only one trying to paddle through a storm.
Exactly. And that isolation, it can be really profound. It leaves you wondering where or even if you can turn for help.
It's a feeling almost everyone experiences at some point. And it really highlights something fundamental. No one is meant to navigate life's toughest moments.
Or even just the daily grind.
Right. Or even its daily rhythm, completely alone. And that's why understanding and truly leveraging your support system isn't just beneficial, it's absolutely vital for your health, your well-being, everything.
And that's exactly what we're diving into today.
Yeah.
We're going to unpack not just what a support system truly is, but why it's so incredibly important for our mental resilience, even our physical health.
And crucially, how to actually do it.
Yes. Most importantly, we'll give you practical steps to build, nurture, and effectively use that network of people and resources to keep you strong, keep you moving forward, especially when life throws those curveballs.
So let's start there. What is a support system? At its simplest, it's that group of people providing mental, emotional, practical support, basically when you need it most.
But not just in a crisis, right?
Exactly. It's not just for crisis moments. These are also the people who help keep you strong, keep you stable, even when you're doing okay. It's having people you can truly fall back on when things get rough, as one of our sources put it.
And the immediate benefits of that seem pretty clear. Less stress, feeling more fulfilled.
A much greater capacity to bounce back during difficulties, yeah.
But this isn't just about feeling good. Our deep dive revealed something, actually much more concerning about the lack of social connections.
It's fascinating, isn't it? How loneliness and social isolation have really become recognized as significant public health issues. There's recent data, June 2024, I think, showing that in Great Britain, a startling 8% of adults feel lonely, often or always.
8%? That's huge.
It really is. Millions of people experiencing this chronic lack of connection. And it's critical to understand the difference between loneliness and social isolation because, surprisingly, they're not quite the same thing.
Yeah, I think many of us use those terms interchangeably. I know I probably do. Can you break that down?
Absolutely. So loneliness is fundamentally a subjective feeling. It's that deep distress you feel when there's a mismatch between the social relationships you want and the ones you actually have.
So it's about how you feel about your connections.
Precisely. It's feeling left out or just profoundly dissatisfied, even if you're surrounded by people. You could be in a crowded room and still feel intensely lonely.
Okay. And social isolation?
Social isolation, on the other hand, is an objective measure. It's simply being alone or having few and infrequent social contacts. You could measure it by, say, how often you see friends or family or how many people live in your household.
So you could live alone, be objectively isolated, but maybe not feel lonely if your needs for connection are met in other ways.
Exactly. It's that perception versus the objective reality of your connections.
Right. And what's even more powerful, based on what we found, is understanding the causal links here. For a long time, studies showed an association.
Correlation, not causation.
Right. Between lacking social connection and poor health. But new research is actually confirming what causes negative health outcomes. This is where it gets really interesting for anyone trying to build a healthier life.
Yes, understanding causality is absolutely crucial. It tells us where to focus our efforts. And the findings are, quite alarming, especially when it comes to mental health. There's strong evidence that loneliness causes worse mental health and overall well-being. To put it in stark terms, people who report feeling lonely are more than twice as likely, 2.25 times, actually, to be diagnosed with depression compared to those who don't.
Wow. Twice as likely. How does that compare to other life events?
Well, think about this. The impact is comparable to experiencing something as devastating as bereavement. Like losing a parent in childhood makes you about 2.16 times more likely, or being unemployed, which is about 1.88 times.
So loneliness hits really hard on a mental level. That's powerful.
It really does, and it doesn't stop there. Loneliness also significantly increases the likelihood of self-harm by about 1.7 times, and suicide attempts by almost 1.9 times.
That's incredibly serious.
It is. What's interesting, though, is the difference with social isolation. While being objectively isolated does cause lower levels of happiness and meaning in life, its direct causal link to broader mental health outcomes like, say, clinical depression seems less clear from the studies we looked at. It really appears that the subjective feeling of loneliness is a more direct pathway to those deeper mental health struggles.
Okay, that's a really important distinction. What about general and physical health? Do these causal links hold up there too?
For general health, the evidence is a bit more mixed. Loneliness can cause a decrease in what they call quality-adjusted life years, or QALYs.
Which is basically a measure of, like, good quality life.
Yeah, quality and quantity of life you might experience. Loneliness also increases the likelihood of having 2 or more health conditions, that's called multimorbidity, by a pretty significant margin, about 1.7 times.
Okay. Still sounds quite impactful.
Definitely. And there's even a possibility, though the evidence is maybe less strong, that loneliness causes a 25% increased risk of early death.
Wow.
However, and this is the surprising part, it doesn't seem to actually impact hospital admissions directly.
And this is where it gets a little counterintuitive, right? Because you hear so much about social connection being vital for physical health.
Precisely. This is the really surprising finding. There's no clear causal evidence that loneliness or social isolation cause worse specific physical health outcomes. Things like coronary artery disease, heart failure, stroke, or type 2 diabetes.
That seems odd, given the link to overall health and mortality.
It does seem to contradict the general health findings, doesn't it? Our sources suggest a few potential reasons. Maybe the individual physical effects are just too small to detect on their own, but they add up cumulatively over time.
Or maybe other physical issues we haven't studied yet.
That's another possibility. Or perhaps the general health findings, like that multimorbidity link, are primarily driven by the mental health impacts of loneliness, which, as we saw, are very, very strong. It's definitely a crucial area where more research is needed to untangle all these complex threads.
Okay, so the takeaway seems to be loneliness is definitely bad for your mental health, potentially impacts overall health and lifespan, but the direct causal link to specific physical diseases isn't as clear-cut as we might think.
That sums it up pretty well based on the current causal evidence.
So if loneliness causes such significant mental health issues, and we know a strong support system is a powerful antidote, how do we actually go about building and nurturing one? Because it's not always easy, is it? Especially if you're already feeling isolated.
No, it definitely isn't. And the first step always is self-awareness. Before you can really build, you need to understand your specific needs. What kind of support do you actually require right now?
Like, do I need someone to listen or do I need practical advice?
Exactly. Do you need someone just to listen without judgment? Or are you looking for concrete advice, maybe practical help? Understanding your own emotions, your triggers, what truly recharges you. That's crucial. It helps you identify the right people to lean on and, importantly, how to actually articulate what you need from them.
That makes perfect sense. It's definitely not a one-size-fits-all thing. And once you have that clarity, I guess it's about nurturing what you already have.
Absolutely. Start with your existing relationships, the people already in your corner. Show appreciation. Stay in touch consistently.
Yeah, that consistency is key. It's easy to let things slide when you get busy.
It really is. Whether it's social media, a quick phone call, email, text, whatever works, don't let those supportive relationships just fade away. And remember, relationships are a two-way street.
You're part of their support system, too.
Exactly. Be available for them. Offer that support back.
And here's a big one, I think, that many of us struggle with.
Yeah.
Actually accepting help. Sometimes it feels like you always have to be the rock for everyone else.
Oh, that's such a common trap. So many of us are conditioned to believe self-reliance is the ultimate virtue. But accepting help? That's a profound sign of strength, not weakness.
It really shifts the perspective.
It does. Our sources really emphasize that being open to receiving support is essential for your own well-being. It's also about practicing open, honest communication, respecting your own needs and limits, and theirs too.
And sometimes knowing when a relationship isn't working.
Yes.
Yes.
That's part of it too. A healthy system sometimes means recognizing when a particular relationship causes more stress than support, and being prepared to respectfully let it fade or even end it. That's part of protecting your system, protecting your energy.
So, okay, we've nurtured the existing connections. Now, how do you expand your network? How do you cast a wider net, especially if your current circle feels a bit limited?
Again, it helps to know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
If it's professional support you need, maybe look towards professional organizations, LinkedIn, or even supportive coworkers.
Okay.
For emotional support, maybe seek out people going through similar experiences, support groups, meetups, online communities.
Finding that shared experience.
Exactly. And a really effective way to meet like-minded people is just leveraging your interests. Join clubs, take classes, volunteer for causes you genuinely care about.
Right, because you automatically have common ground. It's a great shortcut to connection.
It really is. And volunteering has that wonderful side effect of, supporting your own soul, too. It feels good.
Absolutely.
And don't overlook everyday connections either. Your neighbors, people you see regularly at the gym, your coworkers. Sometimes support is closer than you think.
And online. In today's world.
Definitely. Online resources, social media groups focused on specific interests or challenges, forums, blogs, they can connect you with people facing similar situations that maybe your immediate circle doesn't fully understand.
That's a great point. Finding niche support.
And beyond building those external bonds, remember to cultivate your own stuff too. Have many personal interests, maybe take a trip, even a solo one. Get to know yourself better, get regular exercise, create a little personal sanctuary at home, or work where you can recharge. These are all ways to support yourself. You're a core part of your own system.
That brings us neatly to what actually makes a healthy support system. It's not just having people around.
Right.
It's about the quality, the traits of that network.
Exactly. It's a dynamic network. And our sources highlighted a few key traits. First, accountability. Your system should include people who gently hold you accountable to your goals. Health goals, work goals, hobbies, whatever matters to you.
Okay, keeps you on track.
Second, fellowship. These are the people who just get you. They relate to you, share your interests, offer comfort and solidarity, especially during illness or rough times.
The ones you feel truly comfortable with.
Yes. Third, education. People who help you learn, open your eyes to new ideas, deepen your knowledge about the world or yourself.
Keeps you growing.
Fourth, purpose. People who help you accomplish your life's purpose, or maybe even help you figure out what that purpose is.
That's a deep one.
It is. And the fifth trait really ties back into what we just mentioned about supporting yourself.
Self-care.
Yes, self-care. Recognizing that your support system absolutely includes you supporting yourself. Getting enough rest, eating well, having little pick-me-up plans ready for when you're feeling down. You are an active, vital part of your own support network. If you're not supporting yourself, it's really hard to lean on others effectively or even be there for them.
It all sounds wonderful in theory. But here's where I think many of us just hit a wall. The actual asking for help. Why is it so incredibly hard for people, even when they clearly need it?
Oh, it's a huge barrier. Huge. And it often stems from fear, doesn't it? Fear of judgment, fear of appearing weak or incompetent, fear of simply imposing on others.
Yeah, that feeling of being a burden.
Exactly. And for some, there can be really deeply ingrained societal messages about complete self-reliance, that stiff upper lip kind of thing. Makes it even harder to open up or admit you need assistance. We're often taught independence is the goal, so asking for help can feel like a failure.
I've definitely felt that pressure, that pressure to be completely self-sufficient. It's almost like a badge of honor sometimes to say, oh, I did it all myself, even if it nearly broke you.
Right. And while self-reliance is great in moderation, taking it too far is where problems arise. The irony is, asking for help actually brings immense benefits. It alleviates stress, it enhances learning, it builds truly collaborative relationships.
Improves well-being, helps you grow.
Absolutely. It's really a sign of self-awareness and courage, fundamentally, not weakness at all.
Okay, so we know why it's hard, and we know why it's good for us, but how? How do you actually do it effectively? Because just blurting out, I need help, can feel really awkward and might not even get you the support you actually need.
That's true. First step, truly feel entitled to ask. Recognize it's a normal, healthy part of life. Everyone needs help sometimes. Frame it in your mind as strength.
Okay, mindset shift first.
Yes. Then use polite, clear language. Simple phrases like, could you please, or I'd really appreciate your help with. Work well, and be specific. Instead of just saying, I'm stressed, maybe try, could you please help me brainstorm some solutions for this X problem I'm facing?
Making it concrete.
Yes. And if it's work-related, it's often even better if you can propose a couple of potential solutions yourself. It shows you're engaged, you're thinking it through, you're not just trying to offload the whole thing.
Right, showing initiative even when asking for assistance. That's smart.
And remember reciprocity. Be proactive in offering mutual support to others in your network. Our sources actually suggested that providing social support can be even more important for your own longevity than just receiving it.
Really? That's fascinating. Giving helps you too.
It seems so. It strengthens the entire system, that two-way street. And finally, if someone can't help when you ask, handle the rejection gracefully. It's okay. Don't let it damage the relationship. They might be able to help another time, or maybe they just don't have the capacity right now.
It really does sound like a muscle you need to train. For someone who finds asking for help just incredibly difficult, how do you build that confidence if it doesn't come naturally?
It absolutely is a muscle you strengthen over time. Start small. Acknowledge that vulnerability isn't weakness. It actually builds a genuine connection when handled well.
Okay.
Embrace interdependence. Recognize that thriving often comes from tapping into the collective strength of your community, not just your individual power. Practice in low-stakes situations. First, ask for small favors, things that don't feel terrifying.
Build up gradually.
Exactly. Reflect on past experiences, what worked, what didn't. Maybe even ask for gentle feedback on how your requests come across. And really importantly, celebrate your successes. Each time asking for help goes well, it reinforces the behavior, makes it easier next time.
Little positive reinforcements.
And even things like meditation or mindfulness can help. They can reduce the general anxiety around asking, help you feel more centered and less overwhelmed by the prospect.
And when do you know it's truly time to ask? What are those internal signals that maybe should scream, okay, time to reach out?
Well, feeling consistently overwhelmed is a big one. Feeling confused or just completely stuck on something.
Like hitting a brick wall.
Yeah, exactly. Missing deadlines, maybe experiencing heightened stress or anxiety that just won't ease up, or realizing a task is genuinely outside your area expertise. It's good to objectively assess. Are you making progress? Do you have the skills and resources you need? If the answer is consistently no, or you just feel like you're drowning, that's definitely a good time to reach out for that life raft.
So far, we've talked a lot about that informal support. Friends, family, colleagues. But sometimes you need something more specialized, don't you? What about things like peer programs or professional guidance?
Oh, absolutely invaluable. These are crucial components of a truly robust support system, and they offer a really distinct kind of help. Peer support programs, for instance. They connect you with people who have direct experiential knowledge.
Live experience.
Exactly. Lived experience of similar health issues or life challenges. It's very different from professional health care, but incredibly complementary. As one person in a study shared, a doctor can explain a procedure, but they can't explain what's happening after in daily life like someone who has actually been through it can.
I can really see how powerful that would be, getting insights a professional just might not have. What are the key benefits these peer programs offer?
Well, the psychosocial benefits are huge. They really reduce social isolation and stigma. Someone described it as feeling normal, accepted, connected like a family, especially when maybe they felt dismissed elsewhere because of an illness.
Creates that sense of belonging.
It really does. Offers profound hope, motivation, and then practically they provide really concrete insights into self-care, things you might never think to ask a doctor, like how do you manage to take a shower after this specific surgery? Or how do you physically get yourself out of bed when you're deeply depressed? Practical lived strategies. They also teach self-management skills, relapse prevention, help you navigate often complex health services.
Wow, that's incredibly practical. And it's not just for the person receiving the support, is it? I think you mentioned benefits for the mentors, too.
Precisely. It's often a real win-win. Caregivers and peer roles gain orientation, confidence to advocate like a parent, learning how to effectively question doctors about their autistic child's services. And the peer mentors themselves, they gain this powerful sense of purpose. It genuinely aids their own recovery process. Many describe it as a form of continued therapy for themselves. Helping others helps them heal.
That's amazing. Are there challenges with these programs, though? They sound almost too good to be true sometimes.
Well, like any program, they have hurdles. Securing consistent funding is often a big one. Managing potential emotional entanglement for mentors is crucial because, as one mentor said, it brings back everything you had been through.
I can imagine that would be tough.
Yeah. Geographical restrictions can limit access. Matching people based on very specific or rare conditions can be tricky. And sometimes there's still a challenge in convincing traditional healthcare providers of their value, integrating them fully. But good programs address these things with careful training, clear boundaries, support for the mentors, and flexible matching strategies, maybe focusing on shared issues rather than just identical diagnoses.
So peer support offers that unique lived experience perspective. And then when things go beyond that or require clinical intervention, that's where professional guidance really comes in.
Exactly. A truly robust support system very often includes trained professionals, therapists, counselors, doctors. They provide invaluable guidance, specific coping strategies, that objective perspective that friends or even peers sometimes can't offer.
And tailored treatment plans.
Yes, especially for significant mental, emotional, or chronic health issues. They can also be gateways, connecting you to other community resources you might not even know exist. Think of them as another critical layer of support, specially equipped for complex or clinical needs, providing that expert, objective view.
What an illuminating deep dive. It really drives home the true meaning and, frankly, the immense power of support.
Indeed. It's just abundantly clear, isn't it? Building and nurturing your support system isn't some kind of luxury. It's not optional. It's a vital, foundational component of your overall health and well-being.
Especially for mental and emotional resilience.
Absolutely. And recognizing that interdependence, leaning on others, letting others lean on you, is just a natural and really powerful aspect of being human. That's key to thriving.
So what does this all mean for us, for you listening, as we navigate our own lives? What's the final thought here?
Well, maybe consider this. The true strength of a support system isn't just found in those big moments of crisis, when you're overwhelmed and actively seeking help. It's maybe even more in the continuous mutual cultivation of relationships.
The day-to-day nurturing.
Right, where vulnerability isn't seen as weakness, but actually as a doorway to deeper connection. Where asking for help isn't a sign of failure, but celebrated as an act of profound self-awareness and courage. It allows others to contribute to your strength, and just as importantly, it allows you to contribute to theirs. So the thought to leave you with is, how might embracing that shift empower you to build the most supportive life imaginable? Not just for yourself, but maybe, just maybe, for everyone around you too.